when he was talking about kind of his approach, and he pretty much said you can get lucky, you can get unlucky, and that's what we were speaking towards with high rolling and not high rolling, low rolling. So kind of what he was saying was, if you're getting lucky early, kind of like that Agarsis Ranger 3-star we saw in round 5, right? You take advantage. You go all into that. You do everything you can to put all your strength into that early luckiness, right? And that's a good way to build that consistency. And then he also said how, when you're unlucky, you just got to grimace and do what you can. So we'll see how these players approach this game, and we'll see who can get the high rolls going early. And more importantly, I'm very interested in who is not high rolling and what kind of decisions they can make to win in these very critical matches, or at least do well in these critical matches.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's going to come down to not letting the nerves get to them here, and is not trying to force things too much. We've really seen a lot of players in the past. They get some of these pieces early, and today it's actually gone pretty well. Whether it be the Hell Knight, whether it be the Garrus Ranger, it's resulted in top 3 finishes, top 2 finishes. But I think that you have to be an exceptionally skilled player to be able to back up that type of greedy play. And we talked about the idea of greed. It is a real thing in a lot of different games. I mean, you know about it from StarCraft. Man, do I take this fast expand? That'd be a little bit greedy. Yeah, we do. In the world of MOBAs, oh, do I go and take this additional camp in their jungle? Yes, we do. But of course, this time around, it's all about trying to leverage those win streaks as you get them, early leveling to stay ahead of the curve, making sure that you're trying to look for these. Maybe it's not even early leveling. Maybe it's trying to look for these multiple 3-star units early on. So there's a lot of different ways you can play greedy in a game like auto chess, and oftentimes that can result in some pretty good success.
Yeah, and even directly related to your economy in this game, you can just spend all your money and be greedy and look for the pieces that you're looking, and try to find the pieces that you're looking for. But obviously, the disadvantage there is if you don't find that piece, guess what? Your economy is in shambles. So these are the very important weighted decisions that these players have to make in a situation like this. So I'm excited to see this unfold. We have 2 games here until we're done. We're 2 games away from finding out who our top 8 players are going to be. So the pressure is there, and we'll see how this unfolds. So far, obviously something to look out for in the early game. Who's going for the win streaks? Who's going for the loss streaks? What kind of compositions are people picking up? And so far, we are seeing, as expected, a ton of goblins all across the board. At least 3 players already have a 2-star Skybreaker. Of course, goblins very common early.
Axel Toss, is Monty not open forting?
Let's see here.
The answer is no. It was a rhetorical question. He's not, which I've never seen. I mean,
he might still go for a loss streak here.
He might, but he's winning so far. And he full rolls.
I think because he didn't go to level 5 there, he's kind of expecting a loss. So the question might be, will he go up to 5 from here? And he might not. And if he doesn't, then he's definitely going for the loss streaks.
Yes, there he is. He's just delayed by a single round, which kind of threw me for a loop here. Because, of course, Monty is notorious for his early loss streaks. Again, I don't think I'd recognize him if I didn't see him down at least on a 10 to 15 even loss streak by round 18. So, sorry, I had a moment of panic. I was like, wait a second, where's the loss? Where's the loss?
Yeah, he has one, and there's a good chance he'll have another. But the problem is he found a 2-star Swordman, which is a pretty decent pickup at this point. He's got a 2-star God of War also, so he is in danger of winning, if I can put it that way. Not something you really expect to say.
No. Danger of walking away with that fat W.
Okay, good.
No, never mind.
He got the loss he was looking for. Yeah, he got the loss he was looking for. Yeah, I think we're going to see that loss streaking come out from Monty here still. Again, if he goes up to level 5, then that would not be true. Meanwhile, Devlis, another player going for the more literal open fort, or already had 3 loss streak, all the way up to 20 on his gold and his economy. So it's a really nice economy at this point. It's also a little weird to see Radical so low in HP, but not on a loss streak. I'm not sure exactly how that happened, but it's definitely not ideal to be at 83 health in round 7 without a loss streak going on, when the player above you does have a loss streak going on. So we'll keep an eye on that.
I think it's just come down to how well he's, how well he's lost, quote unquote. He's been really taking those losses hard. Theirs is, I mean, Devils is going to go down beneath him now on that 4 loss streak, but maybe something happened there. 2 of these players connect. But Radical has $0.
Mm-hmm.
He has no monies. So not only is he is not building that econ, not building that loss streak, losing HP. It looks like he's going to be potentially playing around something with Knights. Not 100% sure on this. Now with Mages, I spoke too soon. Things are going to have to happen here. Figure it out.
Yeah, and you mentioned Knights. So to keep a close tab on Knights, because we have to keep a close eye on Knights, because we've seen players have a lot of success. Purzun is the guy. Purzun is the guy right now, going for Knights. We're taking a look at Devlis, it looks like, right now on the stream on the 4 loss streak. It is
Radical
safe to assume that
Purzun.
he. Oh, are we watching Radical here? Okay, yeah, it is Radical. Yeah, sorry about that. So Radical, yeah, we're talking about how curious his play is right now. He just won, and now it looks like he's going to lose another one without a loss streak. So we'll see if he can turn that around. But yeah, Purzun right now already up to 4 Knights. He's got his 2-star Frost Knight out. He has 2 single-star Lightblade Knights out, so he's already well on his way to getting a 2-star Lightblade. So we'll keep an eye on the Glacial Knight play of Purzun as this goes along, and it might be good news for him because I don't see anyone else really going for Glacial Knight, which is a little curious.
And this is so funny because this was a build that was really, really popular in group number 1, but less popular / almost non-existent in group number 2. Again, groups are going to lean towards certain things that they think are good, especially because we're only 1 week out from a patch. That's really the big difference maker here, I think, is the fact that this isn't some sort of well-established meta that the players have been playing on for months and they kind of know how things shake out. This is still the Wild West, and I love it.
Yeah, and you say that, and I'm thinking of something else Vince said, the fact that ESL did a great job with the format, really allowing all these players to play against each other a lot. So you start to pick up on what your opponents are doing, and there are adjustments you make. There are tendencies that you notice certain players lean towards. So all that is going through the minds of these players as well, kind of trying to anticipate what everyone else is doing in the lobby. These guys have all been playing for quite a long time now, as the weeks have gone along. So that's something else to kind of keep in mind as these players are really focusing on winning here in the last 2 games of the regular season, effectively, as we find out who's going to be in the top 8.
These are the questions we keep asking, and slowly but surely we're going to get ourselves some answers as we start to get some items in the inventories here. See what these players are going to look to try and build towards. And again, we even heard earlier from, our winner of group number 1, the idea that, how you utilize items late game is really important, guys. So keeping an eye on that is, of course, very crucial, as we now have the 4 Goblin coming into effect here for Ziggy with his very potent early game build. We'll see how he does look to transition that. Maybe if he gets the Veno, he might stick around with Kira, but wouldn't necessarily guarantee that. We'll keep an eye on it, the Spirits and Divinity stuff, because there already is some potential Spirit play coming in from, well, maybe I spoke too soon. Radical, what are you doing?
Yeah, and it's fun to watch these win streakers in the beginning, Ziggy in this case, because there's obviously something that led to them having a win streak, and usually it's some high rolling. They pick up the items that they're really looking for early, and it's succeeding for them. So looking closely at Ziggy, he's got big time goblins working, the 2-star Soulbreaker, Heaven Bomber, and the Skybreaker, getting a bonus there. He's also, interestingly, he's bringing out the Witcher play, which is something we actually have not seen. Like, literally, we've seen a Fallen Witcher come out here and there, but this is like one of the first times we've actually seen a Taboo Witcher and a Fallen Witcher on the same board. And as I say that, okay, it's gone. Never mind. I'm just going to be quiet now. Have fun, everyone. Paul's going to come.
Caster Curse. Caster Curse, real thing. I said if he gets the Veno, I would expect him to probably
funny,
stay in
dude.
this build. Dude, it
Yeah.
happens a lot. Like, it happens a
Like, never mind.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost speaks towards, like, I know it's a meme of like trying to hide what you're doing, but like if you make decisions like that where you have a certain lineup of pieces, but then you switch it up, is that a way to keep your opponents guessing on what you're up
I mean,
to?
it is. But at the same time, like, they can see your bench, they can see your board. The only thing they can't see is your shop, and that is less relevant. So yeah, I don't know. I'm less about that life and more about just the idea that knowing what your opponents have and knowing what you have is a key part of the game. It's just a key element to knowing the odds. You know, Han Solo moment, never tell me the odds. No, you should know the odds. Know the odds you're going to get these pieces. So we'll see.
I agree. I think it's ideal, but I also think it's almost impossible to keep an eye on what everyone has and what's on their bench.
I mean, you can just open the menu. I don't know. These top players, they can ingest.
That's a lot to. Yeah, I mean, hey, I mean, just imagine keeping an eye on one particular player's bench on what they have. Like, are you really going to keep clicking on that every round?
100%.
Okay.
100%. These players, they have, unless they've got
analyzing
like me
what
and
they're picking up and
micro.
dropping, and what if they pick up something right before the round ends before you look? Like, there's ways to be a little sneaky. There are ways to be sneaky. I don't care what anyone says.
All right. We'll let you have
There
it.
are ways
We'll let you have it.
Be sneaky.
Keep an eye on the sneaky plays. We'll keep an eye on the sneaky plays. Ziggy's looking good right now.
Yeah, keep an eye.
I want to jump aboard with Pure Zun because he's going these nights that we talked about before.
Yeah. Yeah, let's look at Pure Zun. Let me see what's going on there. Interestingly, only 3 nights out. Not really going up to the 4 for the next bonus on the nights. But he's got the 2-star Lightblade, which is making him happy. He's got the 2-star Frost Knight out, which is fine. But that's what we've seen throughout a few games is most of the focus on that Lightblade Knight. If you're going for some sort of knight composition, scaling that Lightblade Knight up, loading it with items, and making it a powerhouse of a carry. So we'll keep an eye on Pure Zun to see if he decides to do that.
And the other 2 players we got to look at now are Devlis and Kamburo. We've seen open forwarding in other lobbies. We've seen how that goes. And ideally, by round 15, if you want to be around 50 HP, that's like pretty good. You're in a pretty good spot. Devlis is at 35 and Kamburo is at 32. These have been pretty destructive open fort rounds. Despite the priests, they're just getting wrecked. I'm not a huge fan of their chances here. This is taking a lot of damage early. And their economies are in good shape, but like not that much better than everybody else. I mean, yeah, they've been able to early level now, but I don't know how I feel about this. I do know how I feel. I don't like it. Why am I lying to you?
Yeah, I mean, the economy might be okay, but as you said, Devlis and Kamburo pretty low on that HP total. Although the joke's on us because we've seen players today be at like 2 HP and they're just chilling like for 10 rounds, which was funny.
Interesting. It is. And interesting. Insectoid finally coming in now for Kamburo. This is what he's looking for. So expect the loss streak to try and stop here. Is 7. Devlis leveled to 8. So keep that in mind. That's one thing here. So I think both of these players might start to look to end their loss streaks now. They may have heard me through the ether. You guys are too low on HP. You got to start winning some rounds. So we'll see if that's going to happen here. Oh boy, here we go.
Oof, I think they agree. And Devlis just doing so much damage. I'm looking at Devlis's board. I know you're looking at Kamburo, but just to keep us, both of us, updated on the status of these guys with the loss streaks. Looks like Kamburo is going to lose this one against Monty. Meanwhile, Devlis just cleaned up on his board. So Devlis, all signs point to Devlis really trying to mount up a win streak. And honestly, I think he can be successful with it. He's got 6 mage out already. He's got plenty of 2-stars. Look at that. He's got a 2-star Tortola Elder and a 2-star Flame Wizard, which is actually
Wow.
pretty nuts. Just looking at what Devlis is doing, I think he's doing everything he can right now to bring this back. It seems like he has a very powerful composition here.
No, this is huge, and the 2-star DK as well. But Devlis, my biggest issue is he's just down to 24 HP. Like he has no room for error at this point. Yeah, true.
Yeah,
but he has no room for error.
You're
like
right.
Monty and Ziggy are in like the almost identical positions, except for the fact that they have like twice or 3 times the health. So, that's ideal. But I do like the fact that he's got the level 2 DK, level 2 Tortola Elder, level 2 Flame, and Thunder. So it's good.
He's got
and now he's got
nice
his
pulse staff on the Tortola Elder as well. Of course, it's one of the most satisfying abilities in the game. The Tortola Elder, just the sweeping area of effect that goes across the board. This is the mage composition that you build to just try to wipe your opponent in seconds, as all your abilities are expended at a similar time.
Yeah, and here they all come. Oh, there it is. Well, yep, there you go.
Yep.
Kameha!
Yep. Yeah.
Hit some more.
Pretty strong. So we'll keep it on Devlis. So the problem for Devlis, of course, we're looking at. Sorry, we're looking at Devlis. The interface sometimes confuses me. But Devlis all the way down to 4 in his bank, right? So super powerful comp, but his economy is in tatters. So that's going to be the main indication on how his game is going to go. If the units that he has now can scale well before his economy gets back in order. Meanwhile, Kamburo keeps sliding down the hill here, down to 12 HP.
Yeah.
He's on a 10 loss streak. He has 2 eggs on his bench, but I'm not sure what his goal is going to be here.
I also want to note Ziggy and Monty both lost their win streaks. So finally, they have been dethroned up at the top. You get some players middling, but overall now, I think this is finally going to start to bring these players ramping up into the mid-late game and competing against those who have gone off at the start. Ziggy, of course, being one of them. They're seeing Kamburo facing up against him now. We'll see if Kamburo is going to have what it takes. Ghostly ships crashing in the night. And I don't think he's going to be able to overcome this Venomancer. That might actually just be him out at round 19. That is going to be him out at round 19.
Yeah, wow. Maybe not the best draw for him, running into Ziggy while he's on his 10 loss streak at the edge of his life. Will it knock him out? Yes, it will. Yeah, just maybe a little unfortunate there that he had to go up against the top player in the lobby. But that just goes to show you gotta save your health a little bit. And Kamburo is going to be knocked out here in this game. First man out. Devlis has been able to rebound decently. Remember, he's been at level 9 for a while, trying to build up his econ. We can go. Okay, we'll look one more here at. I guess we're looking at Bobula. I don't mind that. Let's see what Bobula's up to. He's got some assassins going on. The other player going assassins is Flame. So they might be competing for some pieces. Of course, the Abyssal Crawler has been the elephant in the room the entire day, it seems like, or maybe the entire series. The Abyssal Crawler a favorite for these players. So for Bobula, it's going to be between him and Flame, really trying to track down those assassin pieces.
I'm going to have to be so careful observing this game because I have a random floating quit button on my screen now that is right next to where some of these pieces are. So I'm gonna have to be real careful as we move forward with this. But yes, as I go to click on this Abyssal Crawler rather, and take a look at these items, this is already a really good start here, especially because 2-star Razor Claw, 3-star Warpwood Sage, like, oof, you're feeling real good going with this build. Except for the fact that you're facing it shouldn't be the counter, but in this case, if positioned well, it is. The mages are hit and miss against Assassin, I find. Sometimes it is.
Yeah, of course, Devlis, we saw him on like a 8 or 9, 10 loss streak, and we also saw his economy in tatters. So we saw there just how quickly he just dispensed of his opponent with all those mage abilities stacked on top of each other. So Devlis really cool strategy from him, getting those mages working alongside that loss streak, and also while going up to level 9 very early. So pretty cool play from Devlis. But at the same time, just to talk about Flame and Bobula again, almost identical builds. I talked about the Assassins, but they also both have the level 3 Warp with Sage, really trying to amplify the tankiness, the sustainability of the overall build. So just one of those curious things to keep an eye on.
And the fact that Devlis just beat both of them back to back. He just beat Flame and Bobula back to back convincingly. So Assassins up against Mage at this stage of the game, Mage takes that W no problem, especially when you flex in the Dragon, of course, that being a really big component of it. On the additional CC with the Spirit, having that level 2 Dragon Knight so early for Devlis allows him to stabilize. He got down. I think he lost more HP than he probably wanted to on that open fort, but he's looked really, really good ever since.
Yeah, and he wants that level 2 Shining Dragon, because that would just scale that much better with what he has going on. Like what he has is just crazy AOE magic spells, and if you combine that that dragon with it, the Shining Dragon with the dragon bonus, that's even more AOE that you're stacking on top of what you have going on. So Devlis is a fun player to watch right now. Maybe not a fun player to go up against.
Yeah, maybe not ideal. Is now Flame and Pure Zun also on a loss streak. Let's jump back on board with Pure Zun, who was the player going Knights in this lobby into the Glacier Knights build, flexing a little bit of Warlock, a little bit of Agarsis. It's got that level 3 Frost Knight, which I'm going to be honest, doesn't do a whole lot, but he's only 2 away from that level 3 Light Blade Knight, who's decently stacked right now. Still has a ways to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
wait, no, it's level 3 Desperate Doctor. That's actually hang on. It's level 3 Desperate Doctor. I like that so much more. Doesn't change the cooldown on this, but that damage actually hurts.
Yeah, I think the 3-star Desperate Doctor is just a nice little bonus to what he's doing. I think his priority is definitely scaling out the Light Blade Knight, getting his Knights going, but the 3-star Desperate Doctor is definitely great to have for Pure Zun, as we see him fight successfully against Devlis without too much trouble whatsoever, actually. But Devlis is still on a win streak on his own board, running into very little resistance.
Yeah, both of these players, I think, are going to be in a pretty decent spot. Bobula does get knocked out in 7th place. The Assassin's just not quite able to get it done here. That's Shield of Skeleton that last round did a lot to keep some of these players alive, combining that, of course, with the life extension of the Fortune Teller, just keeping some of these key damage dealers in the back through this just a little bit longer. So we'll keep an eye on Devlis, Pure Zun as well. But I want to jump back on board with Radical and Flame. Actually, let's do Flame, because Flame's the one who's really vying for this top spot here, one of these top spots. He does have the 6 Assassin, but still not the best items on this Abyssal Crawler.
Yeah, and he has 2 Abyssal Crawlers on the bench, and he has 31 gold in the bank. So I think it's going to be a critical decision here for him. Is he going to level up to level 9, or is he going to roll down and try to get a 3-star Abyssal Crawler? Which might make a lot of sense, because Bobula was the only other player going Assassin, and he's out. So guess what? There's a lot of Abyssal Crawlers out there to roll down onto. So let's see what Flame does here. I'm very curious. Let's see what he does. Let's see what he does. What are you going to do? Okay, he's leveling up to 9.
Yep. What's he going to put in? That's the question.
Thinking about that.
What was the plan here? Marine?
Because the other option there is just rolling down to try to get 3 stars. I
don't think. I understand wanting to level and keep things up. He's now level 9, but I'm not sure he had a great plan. I think maybe just trying to get that Marine, trying to get that additional MR into the mage players that he's been just getting bopped by. Yeah. Maybe I don't hate this call.
Yeah. I think it's a fine play. Let's see how it works against Ziggy, who's got pretty scary looking Dark Spirit in play, doing a decent amount of damage. Can Flame prevail? It looks like just barely. Look at that Abyssal Crawler. The Venomancer is the last one up, but the Abyssal Crawler is going to do just fine. Thank you very much. And Flame survives. Ooh, and an egg. Okay, is it Abyssal Crawler 3-star time? 2 eggs. He's got to be out of money, though.
Ooh.
He's got...
Yeah.
I feel like he's got to use all this, though. I mean, 14 HP?
Oh.
I'm a little nervous
I don't know. Oh.
But
feel like you
he's
just
like,
won
no,
that.
you know what? I'm fine. Maybe he's
Look.
like,
Playing to win versus playing to not lose.
oh,
He's not doing that. He didn't listen to me. He full rolled. I was like, well, maybe don't use your egg on the soul breaker. He used the egg on the soul breaker. Okay. What do I know? Not necessarily the play I would have made, but it's definitely going to offer a lot more stability here going into these rounds. And maybe that was the difference maker to get these wins. Because you're right. You can't keep playing if you've lost. And there you go. Nicely done. Okay. All right. I see you, Flame. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think the other option he was weighing perhaps was trying to get the 3-star Abyssal Crawler out, obviously, because he's been stacking that thing like crazy, and that would just make him feel so happy. But instead, he went for the easier play, which was, I mean, he was only 1 away from the Soulbreaker 3-star, so he just threw an egg onto it. So he got his simple 3-star Soulbreaker. But this does slow down his progression towards the 3-star Abyssal Crawler, so a little bit nervous for him in that regard. I suppose he's confident that he's not going to lose too much HP, so maybe next round we'll see him really roll and try to get that 3-star Abyssal Crawler. I think he really wants that, you know? He really wants that.
Does indeed. This time around, looking a little bit better against this Mage comp. Having that Marine to help increase the longevity just a little bit longer. But oh my goodness, the Abyssal Crawler was not quite able to do as much work as I think they were hoping.
Too close.
Nope, you're good. Good. You're good. You're
Too
good.
close
You're
for comfort.
It's fine.
Were his druids not really engaged until later in that fight? It felt like his assassins leapt up, but then they didn't really have too much support from his druids there. So I wonder if Flame just barely messed up his positioning there, because you want your druids to engage almost first, and then you want your assassins to jump in so that the assassins aren't taking all the damage, right? It felt like there the assassins jumped in and then the druids kind of went in. So maybe a little bit of a mistake there from Flame. It was hard to tell, but he's got 5 HP to work with. Not a lot of gold. I'm nervous for Flame. Oh, he found an egg.
Razor
Is
Claw.
that enough for the... Is he going to try to go for the Abyssal Crawler 3-star? I think he needs a little bit more. He's just out of money. Does he try to sell something?
It's full broke. He can't. He's got to try and get this too. Oh, he's just running out of options here. 5 HP in a dream. I think the Devilus is really the only one he gets brutally slaughtered by. So maybe that's what he's hoping for. He's going against Ziggy, who's in first place in the lobby. We haven't checked in with Ziggy for a while. We haven't seen his board. Let's see how the assassins do against it. Again, it is random who you face. So let's see if there's going to be enough left in the tank here for Flame. I don't know. It's sort of sputtering out right now. It all comes down to this Abyssal Crawler. Maybe I spoke too soon.
Should be okay.
No spirit, no problem.
Got that and just looking at Warpwood Sage too, it's just, again, speaks to the importance of that unit. The 3-star, the sustain, it's gonna be the last one alive. Like if you have some composition like this and the last 2 units you have that are alive are the Warpwood Sage and the Abyssal Crawler, that might be ideal because you have your super strong tank / sustain, and then you have your super strong damage dealer carry still alive at the end. So that really worked out well for Flame. Let's see what he's doing now. Putting in the Tsunami Stalker instead of the Abyssal Guard.
I like that a lot. He's outlasted Pure Zun now, so this is actually huge. He's made it to the top 4. This was big, and these are really the players that I was talking about were the ones who are all fighting to make it to the playoffs, and pretty much all of them, I should say, have made it to this top 4. This is actually really, really critical for all these players.
It really is. And Flame showing a bit of maturity there, not spending those eggs yet. Obviously, he's going to spend them if he thinks he's going to be knocked out. Ooh, 3-star Abyssal Crawler? Yes, sir. He found
Another egg. Lock it.
He found the 3-star. He's going to do it. Definitely. Is he considering... Wait.
There's another egg on his pack as well.
What is he thinking?
I know he doesn't have enough money, but this is just like, oh boy. So that's got more options for the next round if he can survive. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Here we go.
Oh,
he's holding off. He's holding off. I feel like this is the one player he couldn't afford to face, and that's going to be it.
Yo, what?
Deciding to play for greed.
I feel teased, man. We were ready for that 3-star Abyssal Crawler to come out in full force. He could have sold his Lord of Sand at least, something. Man, not ideal. He had the ducks in a row for a really successful late game, but just barely not able to make it work. And there goes Flame. So we have 3 players left in this lobby: Ziggy, Monty, and Devless. And shout out to Devless. It's actually had a really cool game. Devless, remember, he started off with a crazy loss streak, really low econ, but went really quickly into the 6 mage. Ultimately got his 2-star Shining Dragon. Not quite a dragon bonus. Actually, he does have a dragon bonus going on. Yep, he's got that Winter Chiropteran in the front. So, just looking at Devless, I mean, is he cruising right now, dude? Like, 13, 14 win streak. Every time we watch him, he's just wiping opponents. This is the strength of 6 mages. Again, to emphasize that Tortilla Elder too, 2-star Tortilla Elder with a pulse staff. It's just crazy amount of damage being thrown down. Where are all his other items? Oh, okay, he's Devil's putting a lot of items on his Dragon Knight also. It's something we've seen. And actually Storm Shaman with a Orb of Refresh on it and 2 Magicka crystals. So that's definitely helpful
huge.
Also.
Yeah, that's actually massive. Getting
and
2
the
of
Dark
those storms down.
He's got the Dark Spirit, the Spirit buff. This is I really like what Devless has here, man.
And it's not anything revolutionary. It's not anything crazy. It's just he got the pieces he needed and he's executing it well. And nobody quite has the I'm at this point I'm not even sure what the counter to this is. It's not assassins, that's for sure. We saw him just blitz through assassins. I don't think it's necessarily knights. I mean, maybe a crazy Knight Marine build? Like, chat, what do you think beats this? What is the thing that beats this just super stacked up, 6 mage with dragon? Like, what do you do against this? It's a legitimate question. Especially as Ziggy and Monty are both losing.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the Marine bonus is a must against this crazy composition that we're seeing from Devless. Obviously, a lot of magic stuff happening, right? Between the Dark Spirit, Thunder Spirit, Shining Dragon, Tortola Elder, like ton of magic damage coming out. So maybe the answer lies in the Marine bonus. I'm not sure, but Devless has had a great game here. Again, starting off that loss streak, but then really putting these pieces together to playing for the wipes, Of course, looking at Monty here. Going up against Ziggy.
Facing up against Ziggy. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. The casks. The casks. You could just hear them. Machine gun casks. Oh, he's got 2 of these desperate doctors. He's got 2 of them. And they're just stunning everything. Ah!
Do you think there's a chance Ziggy or Monty are just going to be knocked? Whoever faces Devless here? I wonder. That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah. I'm just going to follow Devless because I think at this point he's on a 16-win streak. Nobody is close to beating him.
I'm going to see who plays Devless on their board. So I'm going to check both Monty and Ziggy. Oh, obviously Black Dragon King here first. But
you mean Penguin?
I think. What's that?
I said, do you mean Penguin? Because he was a cute little penguin.
Oh yeah, I was looking at it on the screen. Yeah, you're right.
Well, then that would make no sense to you. Absolutely, I just totally debated you. That's my bad.
I'm like, wait, what?
I've been saying it wrong all this time. No, you're good.
Okay, I'm gonna keep a close eye on Ziggy and Monty here. I want to see who faces off against Devless because I'm afraid that Devless will just wipe the next person he faces on their board, and they're gonna be out. Look, Monty and Ziggy spending all their money, so they're kind of recognizing the everything's on the line right now. That's what they're recognizing, the importance of the situation. Let's see what happens. Okay, Ziggy's going up against Monty. Okay, Monty is playing against Devless on his board.
Devless is facing up against Ziggy on his board. He just steamrolled Ziggy. Oh my goodness. 17 win streak. That would have been the wipe.
Monty might just be out. Yeah, there it is. So Devless faced Monty on Monty's board, and Monty's just out. Whoa, both out.
He faced them both. GG. Oh, we wondered if that could happen. Devless with a bit of a rough start, if I'm being honest. I thought, man, he's just taking too much damage on this open fort. I don't know if he's going to be able to do this. This is a lot. The other player open fort just straight lost streak to a loss. But Devils was like, no, no, no. This is how you do it. This is how we roll. And he proceeded to win like 20 straight rounds, absolutely dominate. Beautiful mage build. No one in chat can agree on how to beat that, other than you need claw ones and maybe some marines. That seems to be about the only consensus in the chat, is that, yeah, MR would have helped. Wow. Axel Toss, walk us through that last game with our Xperia highlights. Let's take a look back. It was, for most of it, though, it was just the devilish show.
No doubt about it. Devlis, you wouldn't guess it right now, but he was the man of the match. We're going to start off with Flame, though. He's facing off against Radical. And we can see Flame here going for some early Druid play with the Assassins backing up. There we see on the other side a nice fight being put up by Radical, but Flame able to win there, getting a nice two win streak early on, and he would kind of be in the middle of the pack all the way through. Moving forward, here is Devlis. This is the guy we were talking about. This is when he was turning everything around. He was on a loss streak, and then there you see turning it into a 5-win streak. Here you see Radical, Bobula, Cambiro are out, and now we're looking at Flame once again facing off against Devlis. Of course, Flame once again going for that Warpwood Sage in the front. He's got a Druid in there, and he's got Assassin's backup has been the play, but just not able to stay alive long enough. And this is Devlis has just been so powerful with this mage build, bringing Flame down to 5 HP. He would eventually get eliminated in 4th place. Pierzon in 5th. Your final 3: Ziggy, Monty, and Devlis. And it was all the Devlis show. He found the build that was working. We're looking at Ziggy here, trying to face off against Devlis, getting completely destroyed. And that's pretty much what happened all the way through. Devlis on a 16-win streak. He was on 35 HP for 17 rounds straight, playing with his food. Devlis was. And coming out on top, taking out both Monty and Ziggy at the end. Thank you very much, Devlis. Well done. And that means we get to look back at the leaderboard and see where all our points are stacked. I think we're going to do that after the break, but we have one game to go, and I'm excited to see how everything is going to pan out.